The rain had been falling for hours. Thin, cold, relentless. Officer Ryan Hale could barely see the road ahead through the mist rising off the river. His K-9 partner, Ghost, sat rigid in the passenger seat, ears twitching, eyes locked forward. When they reached the old Miller Bridge, the dog suddenly froze, whining low in its throat. Ryan slowed, the wipers thudding in rhythm with his pulse. Then Ghost did something he'd never done before. He refused to move. Seconds later, from the darkness beneath the bridge, a scream tore through the rain, and everything Ryan thought he knew began to unravel. Rain hissed against the windshield, blurring the world into streaks of gray and white. Officer Ryan Hale leaned forward, squinting through the downpour. The high beams cut through the mist just enough to reveal the silhouette of the Miller Bridge, its wooden frame blackened by years of storms and neglect. He'd crossed it 100 times before, but tonight it looked wrong. Ghost's low growl broke the silence inside the cruiser. The Belgian Malinois was tense, hackles raised, eyes fixed ahead. Ryan slowed. "Easy, boy," he muttered. "Probably just a raccoon." But Ghost didn't relax. His nose pressed against the glass, breath fogging the window as the wipers swept in rhythmic panic. The dispatcher's voice crackled through the radio. "Unit 12, we got another 10 to 57 reported near Miller Bridge. Same as last week. Caller says someone was screaming." Ryan grabbed the mic. "Copy that. I'm already here." Static swallowed her reply. He pulled the cruiser onto the muddy shoulder and stepped out. The night swallowed him whole. The sound of the rain on the bridge, the cold sting of air that carried the smell of pine, and something faintly metallic blood, maybe. Ghost jumped out, his paws landing with a splash. He moved ahead, ears twitching, nose working. The bridge loomed ahead, its wooden planks glistening, slick and warped. Beneath it, the Miller River roared like a restless animal. Ryan scanned with his flashlight. "Sheriff's office," he called. "Anyone out here?" No answer, only the steady thrum of water and wind. Then Ghost stopped, right in the middle of the bridge. Every muscle in the dog's body went rigid, tail low, head tilted, listening. Ryan frowned. "What is it?" Ghost whimpered once, then sat down, staring straight ahead. Ryan followed his gaze and saw it. At the far end of the bridge, half hidden by the mist, something hung from a railing. A piece of cloth, fluttering like a flag. He raised his light. A red scarf. It dangled over the edge, tangled in splintered wood. The rain had darkened it, but the color was unmistakable, deep crimson. Ryan's stomach tightened. He'd seen that scarf before. 2 weeks ago, during the missing person case that had gone cold. Lena Morrows, 26, local waitress, disappeared after her shift at the diner. No signs of struggle, no leads, just her car abandoned near the bridge. Ryan had led the search until the sheriff shut it down. Too expensive. No evidence. No hope. But here it was, Lena's scarf, swaying in the wind. He walked slowly toward it, the old boards creaking beneath his boots. Ghost followed, growling low. The beam of his flashlight swept across the railing and caught something else. Handprints. Dark, smeared wet on the wood. He touched one. The rain hadn't washed them away. Too fresh. "Jesus," he whispered. Then the scream came again. A raw, ragged sound from beneath the bridge, not distant this time, but close. Ryan's pulse slammed at his ears. He dropped to one knee, angled his light through the gaps in the boards. Below, the river churned. Branches, debris, shadows. Then movement. A flash of pale skin. A hand, reaching up from the darkness. Fingers clawing at the air. "Hold on," he shouted. "I see you." Ghost barked, lunging toward the edge, almost dragging Ryan with him. He grabbed the dog's harness, leaned over and saw her, a woman clinging to a rotting support beam just above the waterline. Her face was pale, hair plastered to her skin. "Don't move," he yelled. "I'm coming down." But the current was violent, hammering against the beams. If she slipped, she'd be gone. Ryan sprinted back to the cruiser, grabbed the rope from the trunk, and looped it around the bridge post. Ghost barked frantically, pacing at the edge. Ryan tied himself off and climbed over the side. The cold rain turned in needles against his face as he descended. The wood was slick, the rope jerking under his gloves. "Ma'am, can you hear me?" The woman looked up, eyes wide, terrified. She tried to speak, but only a gurgle came out. "I've got you," Ryan said, reaching down. "Take my hand." She hesitated, then did. Her fingers were icy cold. Trembling violently, he pulled hard, bracing his legs against the beam. "Come on." The moment their hands locked, the beam beneath her snapped. She screamed as the water swallowed her. "No!" Ryan lunged, plunging his arm into the icy current, grabbing nothing but darkness. Ghosts barked above, pacing, whining. Ryan's flashlight slipped and vanished into the water, the beam flickering before dying out completely. For a second, the world went silent, just the rush of water and the thudding of his own heart. Then something hit his boot. A hand. Her hand. He reached down again. This time, she was holding something. A camera. Small, waterproof, half broken, but still recording. The red light blinked through the rain. Ryan froze. The woman was gone. Only the camera remained, bobbing in the current. He climbed back up, soaked, shivering, staring at the device in his hand. Ghost pressed against his leg, whining softly. "What the hell happened here?" he whispered. He turned the camera over. The lens was cracked, but intact enough to show the faint outline of a face, his own reflection, distorted in the wet glass. Then, as if the night wasn't already heavy enough, the camera blinked. A distorted voice crackled from its tiny speaker. "Ryan, it's not over." He dropped it. The screen went dark. Back in the cruiser, with Ghost curled up in the passenger seat, Ryan replayed the footage. Static filled the screen, followed by shaky shots of the river, the bridge, and a figure in uniform standing at the edge, face hidden in the dark. Then the sound, muffled crying, and a single sentence whispered into the camera. "He said the bridge remembers everything." Ryan leaned back, heart pounding. The timestamp showed 1 night ago. Whoever filmed it had been here just hours before the call came in. And somehow they knew his name. He shut off the camera, staring through the rain-streaked windshield at the bridge. Ghost's eyes glowed faintly in the dim light, still fixed on the water below. "Let's get out of here," Ryan said quietly. "We'll call it in." He put the car in gear, but Ghost didn't move. He stayed there, ears pricked, a low growl building in his chest. Ryan frowned. What now? Then, through the downpour, something moved on the other side of the bridge. A figure, standing completely still. He blinked, rubbed the fog from the glass. The figure didn't move, didn't flinch, just watched. Ryan grabbed the flashlight again, opened the door, and stepped out. The rain pounded his jacket, cold and merciless. "Sheriff's office," he called out. "Show me your hands." No response. He took a step forward, light cutting through the fog. The figure vanished. Just gone. He froze, heart hammering, eyes scanning the empty bridge. And then Ghost barked. Once. Loud. Ryan spun around just in time to see the reflection in the car window. Someone was standing right behind him. Ryan spun around, gun raised, flashlight beam slicing through the rain. Nothing. Just darkness and the wet rattle of the wind through the bridge timbers. Ghost barked again, snarling now, teeth bared toward the tree lean. His body language was all warning, ears flat, tail stiff, fur spiked along his back. Ryan's pulse refused to slow. "Easy, boy." His breath came out white in the cold. "Nobody's here." But even as he said it, he didn't believe it. The air had changed. He could feel it. Something unseen was close, watching. He holstered his weapon and retrieved the camera from the passenger seat. It was cracked but functional. The screen pulsed faintly when he pressed the side button. He hesitated, thumb hovering over play. Ghost's ears twitched. A low whine escaped his throat. Ryan pressed it. Static filled the small screen, pixelated streaks of blue and gray. Then an image resolved. The bridge again, from a different angle. The video panned shakily toward the railing, with a red scarf whipped in the rain. Then a voice. "It's not the bridge itself," a woman said, panting between words. "It's what's under it. A loud crack in the recording. With splintering, a scream, and the camera went dark. Ryan exhaled, his hand trembling. "Lena Morrows," he whispered. He'd heard her voice enough times during interviews with friends and co-workers to know it instantly. That was her, no doubt. He pocketed the camera and looked toward the far end of the bridge. The scarf still fluttered there, exactly as before. No movement below. But the sense of presence, the feeling that he wasn't alone, only deepened. Back at the station, the fluorescent lights buzzed like a swarm of hornets. The warmth of the room did nothing to shake the chill running through him. Deputy Marla Kent, his partner, leaned back in her chair, eyes on the soaked rope coiled on the floor. "You went down there alone?" "Didn't have time to wait," Ryan said, stripping off his jacket. "Someone was in the water. She's gone now." Marla frowned. "Gone as in swept away, or—" "Gone," he cut her off. "She handed me a camera before she went under." Her brows rose. "A camera?" "Yeah." He placed it on the desk. The red indicator light blinked once, then went out completely. Marla tilted her head. "What's on it?" He hesitated. "Lena. She was alive. At least for a moment." "Christ." Marla rubbed her temples. "Ryan, the sheriff's not going to like this. He already closed that case. You start digging again, he'll—" "He'll what?" Ryan snapped. "Fire me? Let him. But that bridge isn't done with us yet." Marla's eyes softened. "You sound like the locals." He met her gaze. Maybe they were right. Outside, thunder rolled. The sound crawled through the glass like something alive. Marla sighed. "I'll call it in. Maybe the dive team can—" "No," Ryan shook his head. "Not yet." "Why not?" He leaned closer. "Because if someone wanted her dead, they're still out there. And they're watching the bridge." Marla studied him for a long moment. "You're running on fumes, Hale. Go home. Shower. Get some sleep." He didn't answer. Just stared at the rain running down the window. Then she said quietly, "You still blame yourself for your sister, don't you?" Ryan froze. The room felt smaller. "I told you not to bring that up." "You think saving Lena will make up for it," she said softly. "But it won't. Nothing will." He turned away. "This isn't about her." "Sure it isn't," she said, leaning back. "But you should know something before you run off chasing ghosts." He glanced at her. "What?" Marla tapped the file on her desk. Lena wasn't the first missing person near that bridge. 3 others in the last 15 years. All women. All alone. 2 of them worked at the diner. One of them, she hesitated, was my sister. Ryan blinked. "You never told me that." Didn't seem relevant. Her voice was flat, cold. "Until now." The following morning, the sky was ash gray. The rain turned to fog that clung to the trees like smoke. Ryan parked near the bridge again. Ghost at his side. The board still glistened with damp. The scarf still there, frozen mid-flutter, caught on a nail. He crouched and examined the ground. Mud prints. Deep. A man's boot tread, size 12 maybe. Fresh. "Someone's been back," he murmured. Ghost sniffed the trail, tail wagging once before going rigid. He growled, nose to the ground, pulling toward the woods. Ryan followed. The trail led to the pines and down a narrow path toward the riverbank. The fog was thicker here, muting the world into gray silence. Ghost stopped at a clearing where the mud gave way to packed earth. Ryan's flashlight found tire marks, cigarette butts, and a small patch of disturbed ground. He knelt. The soil was darker, softer, freshly turned. He brushed it aside with his gloved hand and found plastic. Black, thick. He dug deeper, and the smell hit him. Sweet rot. Ryan's stomach twisted. "Oh, God!" Ghost whined. Inside the plastic was a woman's body, pale, bloated from the water, her hair tangled in reeds. He staggered back, bile in his throat. Jesus Christ. He pulled out his radio. "Dispatch, this is Unit 12. I've got a confirmed body, female, near Miller Bridge. Send CSU and backup now." The radio crackled but didn't respond. Just static. He tried again. "Dispatch, do you copy?" Nothing. Then, faintly through the static, a voice whispered. He said the bridge remembers everything. Ryan froze. That same phrase. Same voice. He dropped the radio. Ghost barked sharply, spinning toward the trees. Ryan drew his weapon, scanning the fog. Who's there? No response. Then a sound. A faint click. A camera shutter. He turned in time to see a flash through the mist. Someone snapping a photo before vanishing into the tree line. Ryan chased, slipping on wet leaves, branches slashing at his face. Ghost lunged ahead, barking furiously. They broke through the fog into a small clearing. Empty, except for a small photo lying in the mud. Ryan picked it up. It was a printed instant photo, recent. The image showed him standing over the woman's body. Only he hadn't taken that photo. No one had been near him. Ghost whimpered, ears flat. Ryan pocketed the photo, pulse thundering. He looked back toward the bridge, barely visible through the mist. Someone was playing a game with him, and they were always one step ahead. That night, Ryan sat in his kitchen, staring at the photo under a lamp. The edges were still damp. The timestamp at the bottom read, 3:17 a.m. That was 15 minutes before he found the body. How the hell? He whispered. Ghost paced restlessly near the door. The dog had been uneasy ever since the bridge, growling at nothing, refusing to sleep. Ryan's phone buzzed. Unknown number. He hesitated, then answered. Hail! Nothing. Just breathing. Who is this? A whisper. You should have let her drown. The line went dead. He stood frozen for a moment, then slammed the phone down. His reflection in the window looked ghostly pale. Rain pattered softly outside. He couldn't sleep. By dawn, he was back at the bridge again. This time, Marla's cruiser was already there. She stepped out, coat drawn tight, face grim. You didn't tell me about the body. I called in, Ryan said. Radio went dead. She stared at him, unreadable. You sure it wasn't you who went dead? He frowned. What's that supposed to mean? She handed him a report. We dug up the body. Guess what? It wasn't Lena Morrow's. It was Ellen Kent, my sister. Ryan's heart stopped. No, that's not possible. Marla's eyes shimmered, but her tone stayed icy. You want to tell me why your name is written on the inside of her hand? He blinked. What? She handed him a photo, the crime scene. Ellen's palm, covered in mud, the faint black ink letters. Ryan, help me. Ryan staggered back. I swear to God I didn't. Marla's gun was already drawn. Save it. Marla, listen. Someone's setting us up. Maybe. Her voice cracked. Or maybe the bridge finally chose you. What the hell does that mean? She took a slow step closer, gun trembling. My sister disappeared after she called you that night. Remember? Said she was scared? Said she needed to talk? You never answered. Ryan's throat went dry. I was already at the scene. I didn't. But she wasn't listening anymore. Her eyes were glassy, tears mixing with the rain. You let her die. She squeezed the trigger. Ghost barked, lunging into her arm as a shot went off. The bullet tore past Ryan's shoulder. He hit the ground hard, rolling to the edge of the bridge. The gun skittered away. Marla, stop, he shouted. She aimed again, shaking. You don't deserve to. A scream cut her off. Not Ryan's. From below. Raw, terrified, echoing up through the rain. They both froze. Then came another sound, a groan with bending, as if something beneath the bridge was moving. Ghost whimpered, backing away. Ryan pushed to his feet, bleeding, his gaze fixed on the planks beneath him. Do you hear that? Marla swallowed. What the hell? The boards cracked open between them. A pale hand shot up through the gap, slick with river mud, grabbing her ankle. Marla screamed. Ryan lunged forward. Hold on. He grabbed her wrist as she fell to her knees, the bridge shuddering. The water below roared. Something was pulling her down. Her face twisted in terror. Ryan! I've got you, he shouted, straining. Ghost barked wildly, claws scraping the wood. Don't let go. Marla's other hand clutched the railing, nails splintering the wood. Her eyes locked on his. You can't save me twice, she said. What? Then she let go. Ryan screamed her name as she vanished into the river below. The rain drowned everything. He knelt there for what felt like hours, Ghost pressed against his leg, trembling. When he finally stood, the bridge was silent again. No sound of water, no wind, nothing. The scarf was gone. Only one thing remained, pinned to the railing by a rusted nail, a photo fluttering in the breeze. Ryan took it. This time, it showed Marla standing on the bridge, looking straight at the camera, expression calm, almost peaceful. The timestamp read 10:32 a.m. Ryan checked his watch. 10:32 a.m. Right now. The world felt hollow after Marla's scream faded into the rain. Ryan knelt at the edge of the bridge, numb, drenched, his own blood mixing with the river water. Ghost stood beside him, whining softly, head pressed against his shoulder. The bridge beneath him creaked as if breathing, boards shifting under some unseen weight. He looked down into the water. No sign of her. No red. No bubbles. Just the dark current folding into itself like a mouth swallowing what it wanted. Marla, his voice cracked. God damn it. He sat there for a long time, the rain whispering over the trees, until the faint hum of an engine reached his ears. A pickup truck pulled up on the far side of the bridge. The door opened, and Sheriff Cal Danner stepped out, broad-shouldered, weathered face, the kind of man who'd seen too much and learned to feel too little. He slammed the door, his boots crunching on wet gravel. Ryan rose slowly. Sheriff, he said hoarsely. Cal's eyes swept the bridge, the mud, the blood. Where's Kent? Ryan hesitated. She's gone. Cal's jaw tightened. Gone. She fell. Cal didn't look surprised. He just exhaled through his nose and muttered, Figures. Ryan stared at him. You knew she'd come out here. I told her not to, Cal said, walking closer. But Marla was never good at listening. He looked Ryan up and down. Neither are you. Ryan stepped forward. There's something under this bridge, Cal. Something real. I found Ellen Kent's body. Lena Morrow's camera. There's a trail, and someone's covering it up. Cal's face didn't move. You need rest. I'm not crazy. I didn't say you were. Cal stopped just a few feet away. But I do think you've been chasing ghosts since your sister died. Maybe it's time you stopped. Ryan's fist clenched. This isn't about me. Cal tilted his head. Isn't it? He gestured toward the camera hanging from Ryan's belt. You've got proof? Let's see it. Ryan pulled the camera out and handed it to him. Cal studied it, pressing a few buttons. Static filled the screen. Then an image flickered to life. Grainy, washed out. Ryan frowned. Wait, that's... The footage showed him, Ryan Hale, dragging a black bag across the bridge. He stopped at the railing, heaved it over, and watched as it splashed into the river. The timestamp, 2 nights ago. Ryan staggered back. No, that's not possible. Cal looked up at him, unreadable. You're telling me this isn't you? It's fake. It has to be. Cal shrugged. Funny thing is, the bridge cameras picked up the same silhouette that night. Same build, same jacket. Your cruiser parked exactly where it is now. Ryan shook his head violently. You think I killed him? I don't think, son. Cal's voice dropped low. I know. He pulled his gun. Ghost growled instantly, stepping between them, teeth bared. Put it down, Ryan said quietly. Cal cocked the hammer. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Rain hammered the wood. Thunder rolled over the hills. The river below them swelled and hissed. Ryan's heart pounded, so hard it hurt. You're lying, he said. You've been covering this for years. Cal's expression didn't change. You want the truth? Fine. I did cover it up, because the bridge takes what it wants. Ryan froze. What did you say? Cal's eyes were cold, distant. I've been sheriff here for 23 years. Every few years, someone goes missing at this bridge. Women, mostly. Sometimes men. Always the same. Always someone who doesn't listen. He took a slow step forward. We tried closing it down once. The river rose 6 feet overnight and took a family's house. Tried burning it. Rain wouldn't stop for 3 days. You think you can fight that? You think you can fix what was never meant to be fixed? Ryan stared, disbelief cutting through his fear. You're insane. Cal almost smiled. Maybe, but at least I made peace with it. He raised a gun. You, on the other hand, keep dragging the dead back to the bridge. Ghost lunged before the shot rang out. The bullet caught Ryan in the side, spinning him backward. Pain seared through him as he hit the railing. Ghost clamped down on Cal's arm, snarling, ripping. The gun went off again, once, twice. Ryan crawled toward the edge, vision blurring. Cal kicked Ghost off, blood dripping from his sleeve. Should have stayed home, hell, he said, leveling the gun again. But before he could fire, the wood beneath him split with a thunderous crack. Cal froze, eyes wide. The bridge groaned, splitting apart as if something massive was rising from below. Boards buckled, bolts tore loose, the sound deafening. Run! Ryan shouted, dragging himself back. Ghost barked, pulling at his jacket. But Cal didn't move. He just stared down through the widening gap. A pale hand reached up through the boards, small, delicate, wet. Then another, then a face, Lena's. Eyes open, mouth moving soundlessly beneath the water's surface. Cal stumbled back, muttering, No, no, I did what I had to. The hands reached higher, grabbing his coat. Ryan's breath caught. Cal, but the sheriff didn't fight. He just stood there, eyes locked on the drowned faces rising from below. Then the bridge gave way, and Cal Danner vanished into the river. Silence. Only the rain, softer now. Ryan lay still, clutching his bleeding side. Ghost whined and nudged his arm, licking his face. It's okay, Ryan whispered, though his voice was faint. We're okay. He pushed himself upright, groaning. The bridge was nearly gone. Half it collapsed, the rest sagging dangerously toward the water. The scarf was gone again, the railing empty. But on the one remaining beam, something glinted. The camera. He reached for it, wincing as pain ripped through his ribs. Ghost stood guard, ears twitching, watching the river as if expecting it to rise again. Ryan turned the camera on. For a moment, static. Then footage. It showed him, just moments ago, kneeling where he was now, blood soaking his shirt. Ghost beside him. Behind him, the broken bridge. He frowned. What the... The footage suddenly shifted, and the image panned left toward the tree lean. A figure was standing there, watching. Ryan zoomed in. The figure was dressed in a soaked sheriff's jacket, face half obscured by mist. Cal, still, expressionless, eyes black. Then the camera cut to black. By nightfall, rescue teams had found nothing. No sign of Marla. No sign of Cal. No sign of Lena. Just the shattered remains of the bridge. And Ryan Hale sitting beside his cruiser, wrapped in a blanket, Ghost at his feet, staring at the dark water. Officer Hale? The deputy asked gently. You okay? Ryan didn't answer. His gaze was locked on the bridge, or what was left of it. The wind carried the smell of river rot and wet pine. The deputy crouched beside him. They say the bridge will be closed for good this time. County sending demolition crews next week. Ryan nodded absently. Yeah. Ghost shifted, pressing closer. The deputy hesitated, then said, You know, there's talk in town. Folks saying that bridge is cursed. That it? Ryan's look stopped him. Calm. Hollow. It's not cursed, he said quietly. It remembers. A week later, Ryan returned one last time. The fog had lifted, leaving the valley eerily quiet. The demolition crew had already fenced off the area. He slipped through the barrier, Ghost trotting at his side. Where the bridge once stood, only the foundation remained, jagged pieces of timber and the slow churn of the river. Ryan took something from his jacket pocket, the broken camera. He crouched at the edge and turned it on. The screen flickered. For a heartbeat, his own reflection stared back at him. Then, faintly, another image appeared. Lena, standing on the bridge, rain falling behind her. Her lips moved soundlessly. Ryan raised the volume. A whisper emerged. "It remembers everything, Ryan, including you." He froze. The screen glitched, and for one split second, the image changed. Not Lena, Marla. She was smiling. Then the camera died, and the screen went dark for good. Ryan stared at it, breathing hard. The river flowed quietly below, indifferent. Ghost pressed against his leg. He knelt, ruffling the dog's fur. "We're done here," he said softly. They turned to leave, but as he walked away, the wind shifted. Behind him, deep beneath the water, a voice whispered, faint, fragile, carried by the current. "Ryan." He stopped. Looked back. The surface of the river rippled, briefly forming the shape of a face before vanishing again. Ryan stood still for a long time, then finally turned away. Ghost barked once, low and uncertain. "Come on, partner," Ryan murmured. "Let's go home." He walked into the fog until both man and dog were swallowed by it, leaving the broken bridge behind. Quiet now, but never truly still.